I know it may sound a little silly in a spiritual session why we're discussing about cat, but I have a reason to tell you that. So please, okay. It sounds meow. Okay, very good. And cats have lost their ability to synthesize vitamin A, evolutionary speaking. Okay. And cat is a cunniest in the cat family. Okay. It is also one of the living species. Okay, okay, fine, fine. Now so many answers are coming. Its eyes glows in night, and that's why they are carnivorous. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Beautiful answers. So many answers from all of you. Cat are afraid of dogs. Okay, fine, fine. See, what I asked, why I asked you about cats, because see, most of the answers given by all of you does not very specifically describe a cat. Very specifically does not describe a cat. For example, like some of the answers came that cat has 4 legs. So if you say cat, if in the answer to describe a cat, if you say cat has 4 legs, then I can say, there are many other animals also who has 4 legs, 4 legs. Huh? Like that. And sometimes somebody is told that cat have vitamin A deficiency. Then there are many people also who have vitamin A deficiency. Like that. And if you say cat are afraid of dogs, or even I am also afraid of dogs. Like that. And and then once somebody told me, sir, cats drink milk. I told them I also drink milk. So the point is that there are certain answers which are very generic answers, which are general answers, which does not very specifically describe a cat. So when I ask you this question, describe me a cat, we have to look for those answers which are very, very specific to cat only. Means those functions of a cat which no other species have that function. No other species have that function. Only you will find only a cat has that function, and that makes it very clear that you are talking about cat. So now can somebody tell me what is that function which is only and very specific to a cat, and you will not find it any other species of that function? Then it becomes very clear that you are talking about cat. Some of you told already, but I now want to know again. One very specific function which you will not find in any other species. Okay, Srijan is saying that not deficiency, they can't make vitamin A. Okay, but is that very specific only to cats? May not be, because there are so many species, we have not done research for every species, that they cannot produce vitamin A. But there's one specific ability of a cat which no other animal or species you will find. What is that? Yes. So our Raghavendra is saying, and some of the friends are saying, that the sound of the cat, meow. So when you tell that cat is an animal which sounds meow, so we will not find any other species who sounds like a cat, meow, like that. This is a very, very specific function of a cat. So the reason why I quoted the example, that just like for an animal, here we took an example of cat, like this you can take any example. For any species, you have to find the specific function which is very particular to that species, and that function completely describe that species. Similarly, now if I ask you a question, please describe me a human being. Please describe me a human being. So now you have to tell me something very specific which no other species have, which human beings have. Then we will come to know who is actually a human being. See, this is the way how Shastras or the scriptures, they try to study life and science and species. So based on the similar parallel lines where I was telling you, describe me a cat. Now please describe me a human being. Okay, so we have got an answer that human has the ability of doing bhakti. Okay, well, that is also not very specific because there are examples of animals also showing devotion. Hanuman is a monkey. Gajendra was an elephant. Garuda is a bird. But they are all great devotees of the Lord. They are great bhaktas. Garuda is a bird. Hanuman is a monkey. Gajendra is an elephant. They all can do bhakti. That is saying human have the ability to think what is good or what is bad. They have a power to think. Rahul is saying power to think, okay, but even animals have power to think. You cannot say they don't think. Otherwise, how can they perform their activity? Like I can tell you one example. Like once I saw in my home when I was there in my early days. So once I saw in the kitchen, my mother has just heated the milk and kept it covered, and then she went away from the kitchen, and then I happened to go in the kitchen for some work. So when I entered the kitchen, I saw one cat was slowly trying to come inside the kitchen and was trying to move towards the milk which was kept there. So I was looking that the cat was very very careful, and very slowly the cat was coming forward. And the cat was looking here. Any sound comes, the cat becomes very alert. And as she was about to just come very close to the milk, I just did some noise. Like this, I clapped hand. And the cat became very afraid and she jumped from the window and went away. So, if you say the animals don't think, then how can they act like this? How can they be very careful in searching for their food? A tiger, when he hunts, he very carefully hides behind the bushes and waits for the deer to drink water and think that there's nobody around. And at the right opportune moment, the tiger jumps. So how the animals are able to do that if they don't have the ability to think? They do think. Huh? And some of them are saying that humans can talk. Are Baba, animals also can talk. You have your language, animals have their language. Have you not seen National Geographic Channel or Discovery Channel? There's so many videos of showing communication between animals. Like sometimes in the early morning hours, you can hear the birds communicating with each other. You'll find that from the one tree, one bird is making a sound. And from the other tree, you will hear the sound. Like this, you will hear communication. So all of them have their own language of communication. They may not communicate in your language, but that does not mean that they don't talk. They definitely talk. Okay, human beings can cook food. Okay, so human beings can cook food, and animals may not cook food, but ultimately they also eat now. You cannot eat raw food, so that's why you need cooking. Animals say that we can eat raw food, we don't need cooking. So they say that we are better than you. We don't have to purchase LPG cylinder. We don't have to take gas connection. We don't have to pay gas bills. So we are better off than you humans. Animals will say like this. You people have to go to a company, earn money, pay the bill, get cylinder, and there are chances of accidents, fire accidents, cylinder bursting. Animals will say we are bindas people. We don't have any worry about all these things. We are better off than you. So that does not make us better than animals. And somebody is saying logical thinking. Logical thinking. So logical thinking is what sense logical thinking? If you only talk about logical thinking in terms of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, these four things, then animals are much more logical than us. As I just now described you, that we work hard so much in our life to earn our livelihood. But animals don't work hard so much to earn their livelihood. They get their livelihood by nature very easily. In fact, by our logical thinking, we are complicating our life even more. Like that. So what kind of logical thinking? That has to be understood. Like that. So I am looking for the answer. What is that one specific thing which humans alone can do and nobody else can do? No other species. we are self-aware. Okay, what do you mean by self-awareness? Because self-awareness at different levels. Like when I feel hungry, I am aware that I am hungry. Even an animal is self-aware in that regard. When he feels hungry, he is aware that I am hungry. When somebody tries to attack me, I try to protect myself. Even an animal is aware of that when somebody tries to attack or harm the animal. Huh? So even animals are also self-aware. So what is the meaning of being self-aware? We can read scriptures. Okay, so what is the purpose behind it? You know, why we are doing what we are doing? You know, if you read scriptures and ultimately your goal is eating, sleeping, mating, defending only, how does it make you different from the animals? Huh? What you are getting by reading the scriptures? Animals say we don't read scriptures, but we still getting our food. We're still getting our food. We have a place to stay. We get sleep. We get our mate. We are protecting ourselves from claws and teeth. So we don't need your scriptures also. You people are simply wasting your time reading so much. We are without reading scriptures, we are getting our food. So what is that thing which differentiates us from animal? One very specific thing. Okay, I think people are now looking for the answer. Yeah. So you see, the answer to this is given in our scriptures only. So our scriptures say, there's the shloka which comes in Mahabharata. One more answer has come. Our curiosity levels about unraveling the universe. Okay, Srijan, you have come very close to the answer. Thank you. Now let me tell you. So our scriptures say, there's the one verse in Mahabharata which says, आहार निद्रा भयमैथुनं च सामान्यमेतद् पशुभिर्नराणां धर्मो हि तेषामधिको विशेषो धर्मेण हीना पशुभिः समानः. So this verse comes in Mahabharata. You must have all seen Mahabharata. I don't know how many of you have read. But this verse says that there are 4 activities which are common in human beings and animals. What are the 4 activities? Which we showed you here. You know, you saw here, ahar nidra bhaya maithunam cha, which means ahar means food, then nidra means sleep, and bhaya means defense or fear, defense, and maithunam means sex or mating. So these 4 things are common. Samanyam etad pashubhi naranam. In animals and humans, these things are common. But then what is the difference? So here the scriptures are revealing us a difference. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho. What is the visheshata of a human being? Without which dharmena hina pashubhi samanaha. See, very simple Sanskrit. Without which human beings will be like animals. Pashubhi samanaha. What is that? Dharma. Dharma. Dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho. Now what is dharma, which the scriptures are mentioning here? Dharma does not mean Hindu dharma, Muslim dharma, Christian dharma, Jewish dharma. No, that is not talking. Dharma also does not mean religiosity or some kind of, you know, worship or this and that. That are all limbs of dharma. You know, that is all right. But dharma here refers to, you know, inquiry about the real principles of life. The ability to inquire about the higher values of life is called dharma. This is one of the definitions of dharma. So, this ability to inquire about the higher, but inquire about what? Logical thinking, but logical thinking about what? To make inquiry about the higher truths of life. Truth about life, truth about death, truth about the goal of life, purpose of life, truth about why we are suffering in this world, why do problems are coming in my life, why I am here in this world, what is the purpose of life, where I have come from, where I will go after death. This kind of inquiry is called dharma. And this is the special prerogative of human beings. You will never find any other species making such inquiries. Like now we are having, even during lockdown online, we are having a meeting here. Have you ever seen a meeting of dogs or cats or cows or pigs gathering together, having some spiritual discussion or some serious discussions about life? You will never find that. In case you find some animals coming together, they will only be fighting for food. If you keep a pack of dogs in one room, you can only hear growling and howling and biting sounds. You will not hear any, they are sitting peacefully and discussing something very serious in life. You will not hear that. So this ability to inquire about the higher truths of life, truth about life and death and beyond, truth about the goal of life, the purpose of life, where I've come from, where I'll go after death, who is God, who am I, what is my connection to God, and why I'm suffering in this world. These all things actually becomes the path of a dharma. And without this, our life is no better than no better than animals. So as I was showing you in this PPT, other than that, animals also have friends, they also have fun, they also have family life. They also find happiness in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So there's no difference between animals and human beings if we don't have such inquiries in our life. We may be big engineers, we may be IT engineers, we may be working in big companies, having a big package. Why are many people, despite having lots of money, popularity, lot of social gathering, social status, are still frustrated in their life, even to the verge of going to commit suicide? Why? Have you ever thought about this question? Or I don't know, have anybody of you personally underwent such kind of experience, that you may be very well situated from society point of view. You may be well educated, good education, good package company. You may have good bodily features. You may be handsome or beautiful. You have everything in life. Still, you will not be happy and satisfied and contented. Why? Because without making inquiries to higher aspects and truth of life, our life is no better than animals. And when you don't have access to the higher truths of life, there's no doubt that you will experience frustration in your life. And at one point of time, you will start questioning your own life. What is happening to me? What is the purpose? Why to live in this world? And that's how, people slowly start moving towards suicide, or at least a life of depression. They don't derive any pleasure in what they have. In fact, they think, why to work hard so much for such petty things of life? One time, I have this experience. I used to go to some of the colleges for, giving some lectures and giving some seminars. So after the lecture, one of the boy who came in my program, he was looking very dull, very morose, very upset, very, very lost. So after the program, I just took him for a walk, on the campus. I told, let's go for a walk, let's talk, And when we were walking on the road, so outside, there was one pole, and below the pole, one dog was sleeping. One dog was sleeping there. And when this boy, he saw the dog, he stopped and he was looking at the dog only. And I looked at him, he was looking at the dog, I was looking at him. I told, what happened? He told, Prabhuji, just see the dog. I told, yeah, I'm seeing, so what? He told, Prabhuji, how fortunate, he is sleeping so peacefully. No tension. And Prabhuji, I have so many tensions in my life. Like that. So sometimes, people become so frustrated in their life. They think that animals are much more better than them. Like that. Long back, before I came myself to Krishna consciousness in this line of, as a monk in my childhood, there was one song. The lyrics of that song, used to say that the meaning of that song was something like, that birds, rivers, and wind, they travel everywhere. Birds can fly everywhere, and the rivers flow everywhere, and the wind flow everywhere. There are no custom duty They don't have to pay any custom duty to enter into any country. They don't have to pay any ticket charges to go anywhere. They are free to move. And the song says that, what you and me gained by being human beings. Like that, you are human being, I am human being. What we have gained by being human beings? Because, these birds, winds, and, rivers are better than us because they can travel more freely than us. So what is the use of being human beings? Like that kind of song was there. Like that. So point is that when we don't make inquiries about the higher truths of life, we will not find, especially if you are a thoughtful person, if you are a person of little with brain substance, you think, then you will get very soon frustrated in your life because you will not get answers to the very important questions of life, that what is the purpose of my being in this world? Because, see, people struggle a lot to gain the ladder of success. They think that, I will do engineering, then I go to US, I will do MS, and then I will do PhD, and, then I will get a big job, or I start my own company, and I'll become big. They keep climbing the ladder of success, but at one point of time, they reach to a summit. And after that, they find there's dead end. There's nothing more forward to move. And then they start thinking, Acha, now what is there in life? Everything I got, is there anything more also? So in this, they become very, deeply disheartened. So that's why human form of life is specifically meant for making inquiries about dharma, about this question which I told. That is the only purpose for which the human form of life is meant for. Human form of life is meant for no other purpose other than self-realization. Self-realization, Atma Sakshatkar, like that. So, as you can see in this slide, moving ahead, some more interesting thing. So, these things I already explained you. You see, this quiz you will find that because as far as eating, sleeping, mating, and defending is concerned, animals are far superior than us, my dear friends. Like, you compare each of these animals here to a human being. Like, first you can see an eagle. Eagle can fly so high in the sky, and eagle has a very sharp vision. Flying very high in the sky, eagle can see down on the earth, where is the dead carcass, and she can come. Our eyesight is not very strong. Another, you see elephant. Can we compete with the elephant in eating? We cannot compete. Take a horse. Horse runs very fast and has a lot of stamina. Can we compare our stamina to a horse stamina? No. Similarly, here's a polar bear. Polar bear sleeps for 6 months. Can we sleep like polar bear? Dog has a special ability of sniffing and finding out and hearing. So do we have a special ability like dogs? And the example of sparrow. Sparrow? Sparrow is a bird which has the ability to mate more than 100 times in one day. A human cannot mate more than twice in a day, according to medical research. After that, he will be exhausted. But a sparrow can mate more than 100 times in a day. So like this, if you compare a human being with other species in terms of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, you will find that humans are far behind than animals. Far behind. But still we keep spending our entire life, in various pursuits of, comparing with animals and doing all these different kind of species. We are far behind them. Like that. So today, as I was explaining you that the Western countries, now India also is becoming so much westernized, we have reached to the summit of material advancement. Like, you can see like Hyderabad, Mumbai, this kind of cities, and even the Western world, you'll find that tall buildings and lightings and everything is there. Yeah. And what we have made luxurious houses, the best of the facilities. Then we have various kind of skyscraper buildings, sky-touching buildings, which are only utilized for people to jump and commit suicide. And then, we have made fine technologies of jet planes, then latest communication technology, mobile and smartphones, all these things are there. But despite all this paraphernalia we have in human form of life, luxurious houses, and all different kind of material advancement, you will find in today's society that despite all this advancement, modern day human beings are dissatisfied, full of anxiety, stressed, depressed, and above all, unhappy. So we can be very proud of our scientific advancement, technological development, raising our column saying that we have done this, we have done that, we are better than animals and all. But you see what has resulted. Have we in any way improved the quality of our life? Because the difference between human form of life and animal life is the quality of life, not the the external things. Because when you eat, you feel satisfied. Animal eat, animal also feel satisfied. And when you sleep, you may sleep in a Dunlop bed in a 100-story building in a nice AC room, and a dog may sleep on the street. But after you get up, you will feel fresh. When a dog will get up, he will feel fresh. Similarly, in all other activities also, when, for example, nowadays, the modern media, it advertises or, glamorizes sex life so much. You can find so much hoardings and billboards and, advertisements and videos, about talking about love affairs and, relationship between man and woman, and they create such a hype and create such imagination in people's life as if there's something very great about it. And people think that, in human form of life, we have special ability to enjoy sex in a more better way, but which is actually not true. Even when animals mate, they also get the same pleasure what any human beings get when they mate. Regarding this, I have a very nice story which I like to tell you here. That once upon a time, in one of the cities, there was one leper. A man was there. He has a disease of leprosy. So he was an old man. He's not old man. He was a poor man, but he has a disease of leprosy, to the degree that he was not able to walk also. But this man had a very faithful wife. The wife used to take the man put the man on the basket and keep on her head, and wherever she used to go, she used to carry her husband, keep him on the basket like that. And the wife was so chaste and faithful that she used to serve the husband with lot of faith and devotion. But once the wife saw that the man was very unhappy, he was looking very sad. So the wife inquired from her husband, that why are you looking very sad and unhappy? Is anything wrong? So first the man told, no, nothing. He was trying to avoid answering. But then she understood that something wrong is there. So the man told, yes, actually I am unhappy. Then the wife told, oh, then please let me know. Why are you unhappy? I am giving you so much service. You are a leper, you cannot walk also. I am doing so much service to you. Why you are unhappy? And then the man revealed, what is making him unhappy. He told that in this particular city where they are, there is a very beautiful prostitute. Her name was Lakshahira. Lakshahira was her name. And this man, this husband of that lady, he told her, I have a desire to associate with that prostitute and enjoy that prostitute. And you know why that prostitute's name was Lakshahira? Because the fees of that prostitute was 1 lakh diamonds. Either small or big, that does not matter, but 1 lakh pieces of diamonds. Laksha means 1 lakh, Hira means diamonds. That was her fees, because she was very famous and very beautiful prostitute. And this man was old and the wife was also old. They don't have that much money. So then, because the wife was very faithful and chaste, the wife started thinking, okay, although my husband has such a illegal desire, but being a chaste wife, it's my duty to fulfill his desire. So what this lady did, this wife, she started going in the house of that prostitute as a maid servant and started rendering many menial services, like, washing the pots, cleaning the floor. She took. And when the time of the salary came, She didn't took any salary also. She told next month I will take. Like this, for many, many months, this wife of that leper kept serving that prostitute selflessly, doing many, many menial services. When many months passed by, this prostitute became a little curious and she inquired from this lady that, who are you, by the way, that you are coming from last so many months and rendering so many services in my house, but you are not taking even a single money from me. Can I ask you the reason why? And that time this wife of that leper got the opportunity to ask her a favor. And then she told the whole story that actually my husband wants to associate with you and enjoy you. So please spend one night with him. That is only my fees, if you can kindly. So although, as I told, her fees was 1 lakh diamonds, but because the prostitute was very touched by the service of this lady, she agreed. And prostitute has one idea in her mind that she wanted to teach one lesson to the husband of this wife, this lady, the leper. So the prostitute, okay, no problem. You please send your husband today evening to my home. You know, I will take care. Like that. So the lady became very happy, and she brought actually the husband to the prostitute house. She dropped him and she went away. And then the prostitute prepared nice food items for the man. So she told that first you please eat, then we will see. So then, you know, the prostitute served all the items to to that man in a nice golden plate. There are golden plate, golden bowls, golden spoon, golden forks, everything. And the man was eating and the food was very tasty also. After some time, the prostitute told, okay, wait a minute, stop your eating. And she took away the golden plate. And then she served the same food items in an iron plate. So the plate was iron and the bowls were made up of iron and the spoons was made up of iron, everything. And she told, okay, now please continue eating. And the man was curious why she did like this. She took away the plate and gave me another plate to eat. Anyway, the man ate the food. So after the man completed his dinner, then the prostitute asked the man, sir, when you are eating in the golden plate and then when you are eating in the iron plate, did you find any difference in the taste? And the man told, well, as far as the items of the food were concerned, they were the same items. Whatever you served me in the golden plate, same things you served me in the iron plate. So I didn't saw any difference in the taste. It was tasting the same only. So then the prostitute told, then sir, why have you come here? And the man could not understand what she is saying. And then the prostitute explained. The prostitute told, my dear sir, you are thinking that you have such a chaste wife, but leaving your chaste wife, you are coming to enjoy my body. My body will be like a golden plate, your wife's body may be like an iron plate, but the ingredients with which our bodies are made, it's all the same. Inside your wife's body, there's blood, mucus, bile, air, stool, urine, all this is flowing inside the body. If you just peel 1 millimeter of this body, like you peel banana or santrana, like this, if you peel, you will see the reality of this body filled with all kind of obnoxious things. Blood, flesh, mucus, bile, air, and all this kind of stuff. And the prostitute told, and sir, my body is also made up of same things. Only the external of my body may be different than your wife's body, but that does not mean that the ingredients are different. So you are not going to get some extra pleasure or some different level of pleasure by enjoying my body than your wife's body. It is just like when either you eat your food in a golden plate or you eat your food in an iron plate, does not matter. The food is the same. You will get the same taste. Similarly, the lesson from the story is that either we do eating, sleeping, mating and defending in an animal body, or we do the same things, eating, sleeping, mating and defending in a human body. My dear friend, is not going to make any difference. It's not going to give you any greater level of pleasure just because you are a human being. No. And that is why it is utter foolishness to think that increasing the sophistication of our life in terms of increase the facility for eating, sleeping, mating, and defending is the goal of life, purpose of life, and that way we can become happy. No. If that is only our goal of life, then animals are far better than us because they don't have to go to schools, colleges, companies, and they are getting all the necessities and facilities of life for doing this in a much more better way than us. And if we don't have any higher values and truths in our life, we become, Shastras say, we become like Dvi-pad Pashu, or two-legged animal. Dvi means two, Pad means legged, Pashu means animals, two-legged animals. And how can you expect any peace and prosperity in a society of animals? And that is why today the whole world is in such a chaotic situation. There's no peace and prosperity. People are so threatened, so worried, so anxiety, because the more we glide down to animalistic life, the more we will become very, very dissatisfied. So therefore, we are not saying that we cannot do eating, sleeping, mating, defending. They are necessities of the body. We need to eat some food. We need sleep. We need the necessities of life. That is all right. And for that, we can do some work. That is understandable. That is agreeable in even the scriptures. But that in itself is not the goal of life. It's not the purpose of life. Human life is not meant for that, my dear friends. And you can meet some people in this world. You ask them, what is the goal of your life? They say, I want to become very rich. I want to have lots of money. I want to enjoy life. Fly here, fly there. Go to this country, that country. For what? Same thing. Like, I met some boys. They say, what are you doing? What do you want to do? I want to go to America. For what? They say, well, I will work there. But then what is the purpose? You are doing eating, sleeping, mating, defending here. And then when you go to America, you will do eating, sleeping, mating, defending in America also. Same thing. You are passing stool in India, you will pass stool in America. How does that make you different from animals? So that's why dharme nahina pashubi samana. So that's the point. Okay, so now it's already 7 o'clock. Although this topic is not completed, it will take multiple sittings, at least I think 2 or 3 sittings to complete this further. Now in the next session, maybe next weekend or whenever we will meet, I'm going to tell you now, understanding this principle of inquiry. Now, how we understand about the goal of life and why we are suffering, what are real problems and temporary problems, and how we're trying to find out real solutions to real problems, and many other things, and how Vedas are relevant. That's going to come in the future session. Very, very interesting, very, very eye-opening. Please don't miss it. Okay, so now I can take some questions in case you have based on today's discussion. Paras, are there some questions?
Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. One question we have got from Ganesh. He's asking why we have to strive hard for food and shelter while animals and birds are getting without doing any work.
Okay, so the question of Ganesh is, why do we have to strive hard to get food and shelter, and why do animals are getting it without doing any work? Very good question. Thank you, Ganesh. You see, human form of life is a very, very special life because this life is called as karma yoni, or a life of action and choices. Whereas animal life is only called bhoga yoni, or a life which runs on instinct. So animals are completely under the control of nature. In terms of, they are called as bhoga yoni. Bhoga yoni means they are simply reaping the fruits of what activities they have done when they were in the human form of life. So their actions do not determine their consequences of the actions. When a tiger hunts a deer, tiger don't get sinful reaction because a deer or flesh is a natural food for a tiger. And that is arranged by the nature. Whereas we human beings, we are called as karma yoni, where we have to perform actions. And therefore in the human form of life, we have choices. Like whenever you go to restaurants, in the restaurant when you sit, the waiter asks you, Sir, kya khayenge aap? Kya khayenge aap? Ghas ya mas? Or in other words, what you will eat? Ghas means veg, or mas means non-veg. So point is that in human form of life, we are always given choices. And based on our choices, our future lives will be decided. And that is why it's called karma yoni, where we have to work. And based on our work, our future life will be decided. And that's why there's a struggle for existence in the human form of life. Actually, struggle for existence is there in the animal life also. It's not that in the animal life there's no struggle. Like sometimes you'll find in the night, there are pack of dogs, many dogs running, like 4 or 5 dogs targeting one she dog, and they're all fighting with each other who will get said she dog. So there is some struggle between them also, but comparatively, their things are arranged by nature. Now very important thing to understand here, Ganesh, is that in the human form of life, our struggle for existence can also become very easy, provided we start aligning our life with the principles of the scriptures. If we align our life with the principles of scriptures, even our material necessities of life, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, can become very easy or simple. We don't have to struggle hard for it. But the more we go away from Vedic life, the more we go away from the scriptural principles given by God or the laws of God, and we complicate the society more and more, the more we will find that the life becomes more a struggle. Like, we have seen our grandfathers and our great-grandfathers in the village time, they never used to work very hard like the way modern day person work. Like, many of the IT engineers, all of you have to leave your family and parents and come to a far distance place called Hyderabad, live in a hostel in a 4-room sharing, eat that mess food which many times you don't like, and go to office and work under a manager who taunts you, who give you so much work, and then you always worry about doubting whom to trust, whom not to trust, and your mind and senses are controlled. You feel lonely, you feel weak, you feel looking for friends, and you are far away from your family members and you cannot go them. Such a hard struggle for what? Just to earn your livelihood? Just to earn some eating, sleeping, mating, defending? Come on. In the Vedic times, people used to live in families, joint families. I have myself seen. When I was young, there used to be around 25 people in our family. Uncles, and then, their aunties and their children and cousins, and all together. And it's such a happy environment, family. And some of our uncles have shop just outside our home. Some of our uncles used to work maybe nearby in the city only. And when the family is together, the life becomes, and how the family is together, because the center of the family is God. Because God is in the center, the family is together. But because today the modern civilization is becoming a godless civilization, people are becoming more and more selfish. They want to go away from their families. Nobody is able to tolerate other, and nobody knows the art of loving relationships. And people are no more selfless. So nuclear families are coming in. People think I will be okay. They may have facilities, they may have comfort, but their hearts are not happy. They are loners. And that's why the struggle increases. Otherwise, if we just want to live a happy life, it's very simple. If we just follow the laws of God and the principles of the Vedas, the Vedic principles. I'm not talking about transcendence. I'm not talking about spiritual. Spirituality is one step ahead. Even to live a happy material life in this world, you need to follow the laws of God. But because the modern society is going far more and more far away from the principles of God, you cannot expect a happy life. Maybe in some future, we will show you one drama. It's called East Meet West. There's one drama we will forward you. You can see it. It very beautifully describes how, by following the Vedic principles, we can make our life very simple, happy, and blissful. And the more we go away from Vedic principles, the more our life becomes like animals and frustrated. So I hope that answers Ganesh's questions. Any other questions we have, my dear friends, from this topic, or any other questions from previous topics, or any comments you would like to give? Okay, so in case you don't have any questions, then today I would like to do one nice thing with all of you. Please don't leave the meeting. So today I would like to chant the Hare Krishna mantra with all of you. Just, I know many of you are already chanting, and that is very good. But because you all have come, so for 2 to 3 minutes, let's do this chanting together, because together chanting has a lot of power in that. Prabhu, can you give my bead bag? So we have this kind of bags, which is called bead bag, which is very convenient in keeping our chanting japa beads inside. So we keep our japa beads inside this. And actually, this chanting is a very important process, because this process is our connection to the Vedic principles, connection to God, connection to a happy life. This is the phone number of God, the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. And it completely, whatever we discussed now, that the purpose, we have to inquire, and that's what makes us different from animals. And the purpose of inquiry is to understand that human life is meant for self-realization, and how you attain self-realization by connecting to God. And in Kali Yuga, how you connect to God? The most and simplest way is by chanting the holy names of God. Like that. So I'm just going to teach you how to chant. So wherever you are sitting, just sit in a very relaxed posture. Don't strain your body. Just feel relaxed and take a deep breath like this. And if you want, you can close your eyes. And if anybody of you like to participate by opening your videos, we'll be very, very happy to see you, to chant with you. So please feel comfortable and we'll chant together. And try to hear the mantra attentively. Try to hear the mantra attentively and speak the mantra clearly. So speak the mantra clearly and try to hear the mantra attentively. And in this way, we'll be chanting. Okay? So all of us together. So one mantra I will tell, which you can repeat after me, and then we'll chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Please everybody. Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Prabho Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara. Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Now all of you can begin chanting. You can chant at your own pace, speed, but make sure that you speak clearly and hear attentively. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Okay, so I chanted Hare Krishna with you. Generally, we chant 108 times, that become one round. It takes around 7 to 8 minutes. We chanted half round today. Like that, just to give you an example. So if you cultivate this good habit of chanting this mantra every day, whenever you get time, best time is the morning time. Otherwise, any other time, if you can spend, 2 rounds or 3 rounds or 4 rounds, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, you will find tremendous improvement, not only in spiritual life, but your mind will become calm, cool, collected, more focused. And just like, sunlight is everywhere, but when you take a magnifying glass, the magnifying glass collects all the rays of sunlight and focuses on one point, that even it can even burn the paper. Like this, the chanting is like a magnifying glass which collects all the diffused energy of your mind and focus it on one point. Like that. So you can become very focused. Even in your work also it will help, and in all aspects of life. And ultimately chanting connects us to God. And there are many multiple benefits of chanting which we'll discuss future. So please take this chanting seriously, do it every day. And Paras, do we have some forum where you do this chanting every day?
Yes, Prabhuji, actually, we as it was announced last time also, so not a specific forum, but like everyone was invited to join us for chanting. They can give us their preferable timing. So many of them have already suggested their preferable timing. So we will catch up with them. We have already started doing that. And so we will be catching up with them, and we will be chanting together on Zoom platform. Yeah, earlier we thought of, yes.
Yes, my dear friend, that's a very good idea. All of you can come on Zoom and chant together. And as and when the lockdown opens, we will come together to meet also each other, get to meet each other, and we can also sit and chant together. So thank you very much for your patient hearing, and we'll continue our discussions in future also. And in case you have any questions, please let Paras know, or on our the mail ID you can send, and then we'll keep discussing. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I hope everyone was able to understand the way Prabhuji systematically and very graphically told the difference between humans and animals through the example of cat, that the main goal of this human life is to make inquiries and go for self-realization. And Prabhuji also told the leper's story, to summarize in brief, that to understand that the basic enjoyment remains same, whether animals are enjoying those activities of eating, sleeping, mating, defending, or any animal or any human is doing the same activities. So goal of human life always remains self-realization, which should not be wasted in doing only those activities. So that was very wonderful. And of course, as Prabhuji told, there is much more to hear on the same. And we all will be again meeting next weekend. So that's all for today. Thank you very much all for joining. See you all next weekend. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.